these shots here were just so nice. It felt so good running in opposite directions. It's just a shame that there weren't any more enemies to kill. This right here is kind of slow too, but still nice. This is actually on the 64 player game mode here. I think this might have been the first match I played too. I just kind of got lucky here. Like, I got those first like 2 or 3 shots, and then we're just being real aggressive, just looking for more enemies to make a clip. And just all these enemies popped up. Somehow none of them were looking at me, and none of them, except for that one there, my teammates didn't kill any of them before I could somehow. I think we like just unlocked the next sector too. One thing I definitely will say is if you're playing with a controller, just don't expect your aim to look this good, or you're just not going to be able to flick shots as fast. Your aim is just going to be a lot slower, and it's a lot harder to hit moving targets. So if you're on a controller, you can still get really good at sniping, but you have to be more patient and looking for enemies that are standing still. And better like looking for those enemies that have very predictable movement. And more so, when enemies are moving, like when they're running or just moving to the side across your screen, it's a lot easier to, like say somebody's running to the left, it's a lot easier to aim way farther to the left in front of them, and then hold your aim still, like hold your reticle still, stop aiming, and let them run forward and then just shoot when you need to shoot. I'm actually starting to do that a lot more now. It's just way easier, even when you're aiming with a mouse, it's just way easier and makes more sense. I think it's kind of smarter to do that. Like in this video here, you'll see a lot of like flicks from tracking them when they're running, like with this one here. So that one they're actually weighted, but then there I get that flick shot. But I'm just starting to try to aim in front of them and wait just on purpose more. It makes it easier. And with a controller, it's even more important to do that. It's just harder to hit moving shots. But somebody to watch, who's really good with a controller though, is Maxiq, M-A-X-I-Q. He's really good at sniping, and you'll see he's very good at like looking and being patient and waiting, searching for those people that aren't moving. Like you've probably been in that situation where you end up with this really good flank. There's all these enemies in front of you, but they're all kind of moving all over the place. Maxiq is a master in those situations at really being really patient and waiting for people, looking for the people that aren't moving and like getting them first. And I'm finally starting, not in this clip here is older, but I am finally starting to be able to like get my shots faster and just flip them better. One thing I found that helped too, a great way, like with that one there, I aimed in front and then waited. Just held my reticle still, wait for him to run into the shot where I needed it. Makes it a lot easier.
One down. You're welcome.
Best way to practice your aim for this game is just play solo mode in like Breakthrough. I mean, you can play Conquest too, but it's basically you, and it's just all bots on your team and the enemy team. And it's actually really good to practice your aim. The bots actually move around a lot. One thing that I've noticed that I find kind of funny too is like even the bots don't lie prone. So like if you're a player that just lies prone and doesn't move, like you're worse than even bots. Like even the bots don't do that. But yeah, playing with the solo mode is actually really fun, and I find feel like it's helping me get like my flicks faster, and helping me get learn the bullet velocity quicker too. It's really good for that. I'm probably gonna start playing that solo mode for at least a half hour every day before I play to warm up. So this is like a great position here, and you'll see I'm just kind of taking shots too fast and just spamming. Where if I had waited and looked for people to stand still, that could have been a lot better. Which again is something like Maxiq is really, really good at. It's kind of hard too, because there's such a fine line between like, you don't want to be rushing your shots too much to where you're just missing all of them, like I kind of am right here. But at the same time, you don't want to take too long with your shots to where you're just hesitating, and maybe, you know, a lot of times you kind of wait and the enemy might move right when you shoot, or you kind of psych yourself out when you wait and just end up missing anyway. Or even if you're hitting your shots, if they just take too long, it can just look bad if I'm trying to do like a montage. Like, it just doesn't look as good. Or maybe I'm standing too still for too long and get sniped by somebody else because I'm standing still. There's such a fine line between rushing my shots, taking them too fast. So here you can see, like, I'm finally starting to just get these flicks a lot faster. Like, that guy was pretty far away, and if you're playing with a mouse, you want to be able to just get shots that fast, like, pretty consistent. And just take shots that fast, like that guy right there, I'd kind of just... And the faster you can take shots, the less you have to move. Like, you can... Because you have to stand still when you take your shot, so if you can aim quicker and stand still for less time, you'll just... It's a harder target to hit, especially by, you know, the snipers. Another thing I will say, too, is if you're playing with a controller, make the dead zone on your left stick really big. Because you're probably you're clicking down on the left stick to hold your breath. And it's easy if you're clicking down on the left stick to move the stick around, which can move your character around. If you move it all, you miss your shots. Sounds funny right there. So you make your dead zone bigger, it makes it so you have to move the stick farther to make your character move. And even though I play with a mouse and aim, I actually use a controller with my left hand because I like it more than a keyboard. So I made the dead zone really big on mine, so I have to move the stick really far before it makes my character move. It makes it a lot easier to not move when you're taking your shots.